फ्रेंड्स आपण मानकु मो यूट्यूब चैनल स्वागत। आज आम डिस्कस करिबा OSSTET एग्जाम रो पेडागोजी क्वेश्चंस। आपण माने जदि चैनल रे प्रथम थर पई वीडियो देखछन्ते चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर रखंतु एवं आगामी OSSTET एग्जाम पे प्रिपरेशन करछन्ते जदि वीडियो को निश्चित देखंतु। व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट ए कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ लर्नर सेंट्रिक लर्निंग। निम्नोक्त मध्यरु केउटी लर्नर सेंट्रिक लर्निंग रो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स नुहे। टीचर एंड स्टूडेंट्स इवैल्यूएट लर्निंग टुगेदर। टीचिंग लीड्स टू इंक्रीज स्टूडेंट लर्निंग एंड लॉन्ग टर्म रिटेंशन। अप्रोच इज compatibility with interdisciplinary investigation. Emphasis is on communicating knowledge effectively. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी। टीचिंग लीड्स टू इंक्रीज स्टूडेंट लर्निंग एंड लॉन्ग टर्म रिटेंशन। यह तार कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स नुहे। हु सेड करिकुलम इज ए रिटिन प्लान। किए करिकुलम इज ए रिटिन प्लान बा करिकुलम गोटिए रिटिन प्लान बोली कही थिले। रेगन, टेलर, अल्बर्ट, स्मिथ, स्टैनली एंड सोर। यहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी। स्मिथ, स्टैनली एंड सोर। The following statements are the function of SMC except review coverage of courses or studies, supervise the daily instructional activities, intimate the PTA and the district officer about the grants received and utilization thereof, monitor the identification and enrollment of and facilitate for learning by disabled children. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी। सुपरवाइज द डेली इंस्ट्रक्शनल एक्टिविटीज। टू मैक्सिमाइज द रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट फ्रॉम द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस ह्यूमन कैपिटल एंड मिनिमाइज फंक्शनल रिस्क इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ फिजिकल रिसोर्सेस, ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेस, फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेस, कम्युनिटी रिसोर्सेस। एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेस। A child is talking with his friend and says, "Mine is Goder." Which theory of language acquisition best explains the use of Goders? Skinner theory, social cognitive theory, Chomsky theory, none of the above. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी ऑप्शन सी Chomsky theory. According to sociocultural theory of Vygotsky को social cultural theory, the child thinks in different domains does not take a complete perspective. Culture and language play a crucial role in development. Children think in abstract terms if presented abstract mineral at a lower age. Self-directed speech is the lowest stage of the scaffold. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी। Culture and language plays a crucial role in development. The need and purpose of educational management is to enable the right pupils to receive the right education from the right teachers. Who said it? ଏହା କିଏ କହିଥିଲେ? ଗ୍ରାହମ ବେଲଫୋର, କାଣ୍ଡେଲ, J.V. थॉमस, सेली उमन्स। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଏ ଗ୍ରାହମ ବେଲଫୋର। Which theory of concept learning use the characteristics of concept to define them? Prototype theory, rule driven theory, exemplar theory, both A and C. एହାର आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी both A and C. According to Lawrence Kohlberg's theory of moral development, at which stage people make decisions based on loyalty, living up to the expectations of others and social convention. Social construct, interpersonal harmony, universal principle, law and order. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी interpersonal harmony. Which of the following Sternberg's theory of intelligence focus on academic proficiency? Componential subtheory, experimental subtheory, conceptual subtheory, all of the above. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी, all of the above. In which stage of cognitive development a child can think logically about objects? Sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन सी, concrete operational. Ria is a 10th class student in your history class. She seems to have a good understanding of the content. That is, she can recite for you the dates and place of the events you have covered in class. However, when you ask the class to defend a point, she often uses the wrong information to support her points. Ryu most likely needs help in increasing her DS, period knowledge, procedural knowledge, declarative knowledge, conditional knowledge. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी, conditional knowledge. The degree to which an assessment actually measures what is it supposed to measure is known as validity, reliability, practicality, ethics. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन ए, validity. In a constructivist classroom as envisioned by Piaget and Vygotsky, learning is dictated by the teacher and the students are passive recipient of the same, happens by pairing of stimulus and a response. Each offering of reinforcement by the teacher is constructed by the students themselves who play an active role. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी, is constructed by the students themselves who play an active role. The teacher can utilize both assessment for learning and assessment of learning to monitor children's progress and set appropriate goals to fill their learning gaps. Now, children's progress and achievement level, now learning needs of child, and select teaching strategy accordingly. Assess children's performance at periodic interval and certify his or her performance. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी, नाउ चिल्ड्रेन्स प्रोग्रेस एंड अचीवमेंट लेवल. NCF 2005 purposes the evaluation system should be based on grades, marks, portfolio, both A and B. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन ए, ग्रेड्स. To provide a common platform for the state and the center to share their views about improving educational standard is one of the objectives of NCERT, CED, CABE and NIPA. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन सी, CABE. In learning, assessment is essential for grades and marks, screening test, motivation, fostering the purpose of segregation and ranking. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन सी, motivation. Who believed that every person could achieve their goals, wishes and desires in life when or rather if they did so, self-actualization took place. Jean Piaget, Carl Rogers, Eric Erikson, Robert J. Sternberg. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी, कार्ल रोजर. Leadership motivates the people to work and not the power of money. This concept is related to ए कनसेप्ट क्या सहित रिलेट अच्छी सपोर्टिव मॉडल, कस्टोडियल मॉडल, ऑटोक्रेटिक मॉडल, कॉलेजियल मॉडल. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी, कस्टोडियल मॉडल. According to psychologist Adams, the learning and forgetting is. The learning and forgetting कौन? Forgetting means failure at any time to recall. Forgetting is failing to retain. Forgetfulness is voluntary. True learning is judicious forgetting. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी, ट्रू लर्निंग इज जुडिशियस फॉरगेटिंग. Which component represent the actual mental process used for the execution of a task, like task perception, concept identification and response making. Meta component, component sub theory, performance component, knowledge acquisition component. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି performance component. The benefits of formative assessment include all of the following except guides teachers in deciding what they need to do tomorrow in terms of instruction, provides various scores for teachers to average into a grade, gives teachers the opportunity to make immediate adjustment in their instruction, provides feedback to help students adjust and improve their performance. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଡି provides feedback to help students adjust and improve their performance. Which approach of management stands for the function of elimination of waste in all funds? Guest benefit approach, manpower approach, social justice approach, none of the above. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଏ guest benefit approach. The following are the characteristics of self-learning except can fulfill the needs of the student. The programmed instruction method reduces the problem of the group learning. Stimulus response in this method motivate the students. None of these. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି stimulus response in this method motivate the students. Why might a teacher choose to use an analytic rubric for his or her students' oral presentation? Because he or she wants to judge the presentation as a whole, because he or she wants to use a rubric that can be created quickly to give the students specific to grade the presentation quickly. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି to give the students specific feedback. The first column for which matching is made is called option premises, responses, direction. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି premises. The following are the characteristics of mental development in adolescence except ability of problem solving, self-criticizing and evaluation, symbolic and preconceptual thought, increased rational self-control. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି symbolic and preconceptual thought. Who viewed intelligence as how well an individual deals with environmental changes throughout their lifespan? Robert J. Sternberg, J.P. Guilford, Noam Chomsky, Lev Vygotsky. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଏ Robert J. Sternberg. Which type of attention involves the ability to pay attention to two sets of stimuli at the same time? Selective attention, divided attention, adapted attention, bidirected attention. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି divided attention. The second MLE workshop 2006 was conducted for preparation of curriculum, identifying the themes as per national curriculum, preparation of instructional materials in 10 languages. All of the above. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି preparation of instructional materials in 10 languages. Which of the following is not a merit of small group learning? The level of achievement increases, the enhances the leadership quality, it clears the doubts in learning immediately, motivation is developed among the learners. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଡି motivation is developed among the learners. A teacher makes use of a variety of tasks to cater to the different learning style of his or her learners. He or she is influenced by Gardner's multiple intelligence theory, Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory, Piaget's cognitive development theory, Kohlberg's moral development theory. Here answer ହେବ option A. Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. Which of the following is the first decision that needs to be made when developing a portfolio? What goes in it? How and when are the entries selected? What should it look like? How is the portfolio evaluated? ଏହାର answer ହେବ option C. What should it look like? The content of a portfolio is largely based on the goal and purpose of the portfolio, the characteristics of the student evaluated, the length of the portfolio, none of these. ଏହାର answer ହେବ option A. The goal and purpose of the portfolio. Which of the following is used as a guideline for designing a grading system? Create a system that is clear, understandable and consistent with school. Base grades on observable data. Sign grade constantly gradeless of Gardner class or socio-economic status. ଏହାର answer ହେବ option D. All of the above. Art is very effective medium of exposure to social phenomenon, self-expression and communication, development of moral values in life, expressing the hidden knowledge within the child. ଏହାର answer ହେବ option B. Self-expression and communication. Which of the following is not a merit of learning centered approach? Learners find interest in learning. In fosters in learners a sense of cooperation. Students mostly depend on teachers. Emotional problems of learners are probably channelized. ଏହାର answer ହେବ option B. It fosters in learners a sense of cooperation. ଏହାର answer ହେବ option C. Students mostly depend on teachers. Which of the following does not refer to Vygotsky's theory of the turn of proximal development? The range of problem a child can solve it given some assistance. Children cognition remains limited by pre-operational mode of understanding. Children acquire cognitive structure from cultural and social interactions. Parents and teachers can foster cognitive development. ଏହାର answer ହେବ option B. Children cognition remain limited by pre-operational mode of understanding. The concept of accommodation in Piaget's development scheme implies that these are cognitive structures, incorporation of something new in the environment, modification or change of an old scheme to learn a new scheme, maintaining balance between child and changing equilibrium. ଏହାର answer ହେବ option C. Modification or change of an old scheme to learn a new scheme. Development of self-assessment and peer assessment skills fall into which category? Assessment for learning, assessment age learning, assessment of learning. ଏହାର answer ହେବ option B. Assessment age learning. ଏ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନଟି ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କର ପୂର୍ବ ଏକ୍ଜାମରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆସିଥିଲା. Which of the following is an advantages of peer assessment? Peer pressure and friendship can influence the reliability of grades. It enhances the time and workload of marking for teachers. Students learn how to criticize, evaluate and apply other generic skills during the process. Extroverted students can be marked higher. ଏହାର answer ହେବ option C. Students learn how to criticize, evaluate and apply other generic skills during the process. Who developed a theory of motivation called drive reduction theory of reinforcement? E. L. Thorndike, Kurt Lewin, Harry Havloff, Carl L. Hull. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଡି କାର୍ଲ ଏଲ୍ ହୁଲ୍। Assessment in examination should assess children's ability to recall a textbook language, assess according to the answer given in guidebook, assess children's ability to use his or her knowledge for problem solving and its application in the real world, assess by fixed rules of marking and ranking। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି assess children's ability to use his or her knowledge for problem solving and its application in the real world. According to NCF 2005, the purpose of evaluation is not to motivate children to study under threat, to label the children a slow learner, to identify child who requires remediation, all of the above। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଡି all of the above। According to Erickson's theory, industry versus inferiority conflict is found at which stage? School age, early childhood, adolescence, adulthood। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଏ ସ୍କୁଲ ଏଜ୍। Authoritarian model is more suitable for authoritarian model କାହା ପାଖରେ more suitable? Discipline, confidence, achievement, improvement। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଏ discipline। Which of the following characteristics is not reflective of a cognitive view of learning? Changes in knowledge lead to changes in behavior. The outcome of learning is an observable behavior. Reinforcement is seen as information. Humans are active learner। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି The outcome of learning is an observable behavior। The chief responsibility of the headmaster is to maintain school records, handle discipline problems, provide leadership in instructional plan, organize and administer the guidance program। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି provide leadership in instructional plan। CCE include placement evaluation, formative evaluation, summative evaluation, evaluation of both cognitive and co-cognitive area। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଡି evaluation of both cognitive and cognitive area। Which one of the following situations is illustrative of a child-centered classroom? ନିମ୍ନୋକ୍ତ ମଧ୍ୟରୁ କେଉଁଟି illustrative child-centered classroom ର situation? A class in which the teacher dictates and students are asked to memorize their notes. A class in which the textbook is the only resources the teacher refers to. A class in which the behavior of students is governed by the rewards and punishment the teacher would given them. A class in which the students are sitting in groups and the teacher take turn to go to each group। ଏହାର ଅପସନ୍ ଡି ଟି ଠିକ୍ ରହିଛି। A class in which the students are sitting in a groups and the teacher take turn to go to each group। गोटे क्लास रे स्टूडेंट्स गोटे गोटे ग्रुप करिकी बसिथिबे एवं टीचर प्रत्येक ग्रुप को जिबे। Score based on statistical comparison of individuals' performance with the performance of others in that age group is dash intelligence quotient, deviation intelligence quotient, fluid intelligence, crystallized intelligence। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି ଡେଭିଏସନ୍ ଆଇକ୍ୟୁ ବା ଡେଭିଏସନ୍ ଇଣ୍ଟେଲିଜେନ୍ସ କୋସେଣ୍ଟ। Behavior is the movement of an organism or its parts in a frame of reference provided by the organism itself or by external objects or fields of force, which theory of learning does it belongs to? निम्नोक्त मध्यरु केउ थियोरीटी एहार बिलोंग्स करे? स्टिमुलस रेस्पॉन्स थियोरी, थियोरी ऑफ सिस्टमैटिक बिहेवियर, थियोरी ऑफ कंडीशनल रेस्पॉन्स, ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग थियोरी। एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी, ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग थियोरी। According to whom, a short answer essay item is one in which the examined supplies the answer in one or two lines and is usually concerned with one central concept. काहा अनुसारे होइथिला? मार्शल एंड हॉल्स, लिन एंड मिलर, ग्रोनोल बा एनसीएफ 2005। एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन ए, मार्शल एंड हॉल्स। A grading system in which teachers base assessment decision about an individual's work on comparison with the work of peers is classified as non-reference grading, criterion reference grading, competitive grading, none of these. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन ए, non-referent grading. Which of the following is not the characteristics of formative evaluation? निम्नोक्त मध्यरु केउटी formative evaluation रो characteristics नुहे? Its design is exploratory and quite flexible. It seeks to identify influential variables. It monitors teaching learning strategy during instruction. It is almost unobstructive and non-reactive. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी, इट इज ऑलमोस्ट अनऑब्स्ट्रक्टिव एंड नॉन रिएक्टिव। एहा तारो फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट रो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स नुहे। To which of the Kohlberg stages empathy and prosocial behaviors are most closely related? केउ स्टेज रे empathy and prosocial behavior mostly closely थाए? Pre-conventional ethics, conventional ethics, post-conventional ethics, none of these. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी, conventional ethics. In this world of human affairs, there is no worse nuisance than a boy at the age of 14. If he talks with a childish lips, he is called a baby, and if he answers in a group grown-up way, he is called an impotent. Whose view was in? Rabindranath Tagore, Mahatma Gandhi, Sri Aurobindo, S. Radhakrishnan. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन ए, रविंद्रनाथ टागोर। Condition involving a range of motor or coordination difficulties due to brain damage is known as? Brain damage due coordinating difficulty due to brain damage, epilepsy, spasticity, cerebral palsy, articulation disorder. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन सी, सेरिब्रल प्लेसी। ब्रेन को हमें सेरिब्रल अछि। Which of the following is not a guideline for encouraging creativity? निम्नोक्त मध्यरु केउटी encouraging creativity रो गाइडलाइन नुहे? Ask questions to support dissenting opinions. Use a class brainstorming session whenever possible. Give ungraded assignments from time to time. Don't reference a pattern of telling secrets. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी, don't reinforce a pattern of telling secrets. एहा तारो गाइडलाइन नुहे। School based management is a way for forcing individual schools to take responsibility for what happens to the children under their jurisdiction. Was the view of Dash, Marlene, Houseman, Condolly, Hallinger. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन सी, कांडोली। In which type of educational management teachers get proper scope for evaluating the assessment instructed upon them? Creative management, laissez-faire management, decentralized management, democratic management. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଡି democratic management. The prompting method of memory testing is created by H. Munstenberg, H. Hovenhouse, F. Fallman. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି. Next question. At which phase a child cannot solve a problem alone but can be successful under adult guidance or in collaboration with a more advanced peer? Zone of proximal development by ZPD, zone of factual development by ZFD, information processing, metacognition. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଏ zone of proximal development by ZPD. Continuous and comprehensive evaluation emphasis. How learning can be observed, recorded, and improved upon. Continuous testing on a comprehensive scale to ensure learning. Fine-tuning of tests with the teaching. Redundancy of the board examination. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଏ How learning can be observed, recorded, and improved upon. Which assessment involves students in the collection and evaluation of materials to be included for examination? Checklist, portfolio, rating scale, rubrics. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି portfolio. Which part of the brain is involved in higher cognitive process? Brain रो कोउ पार्टी आमर हायर कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेस रे इन्वॉल्व होइथाय? सेरिबेलम, सेरिब्रल कॉर्टेक्स, मिड ब्रेन, पोन्स. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी सेरिब्रल कॉर्टेक्स. Which of the following is not a characteristics of critical pedagogy? निम्नोक्त मध्यरु केउंटी क्रिटिकल पेडागोजी रो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स नुहे? To empower students and help them to help themselves, to subjugate students by aggression, to promote emancipation and intellectual growth, to center its participate on community and collaboration. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन बी to subject students by operation. Approximate chronological ages are attached to the stages. Children pass through them at different rates. Whose theory of development helps us to understand this statement? यह कार स्टेटमेंट थिला रॉबर्ट एस शेयर, वाइगोट्स्की, पियागेट, इरिक्सन. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन सी पियागेट. A child reasons, you do this for me and I will do that for you. In which stage of Kohlberg's moral reasoning would this child fall? The good boy good girl orientation, the social contract orientation, the instrumental purpose orientation, the punishment and obedience orientation. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन सी the instrumental purpose orientation. Ongoing process of arranging information and experience into mental system or categories is known as assimilation, accommodation, organization, equilibrium. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन सी organization. एहा कहार कैटेगरी organization. All of the following promote assessment as learning except telling students to take internal feedback, generating a safe environment for students to take chances, tell students to reflect on the topic taught, testing students as frequently as possible. एहार आंसर हबो ऑप्शन डी testing student as frequently possible. Which one of the following is a good example of learning of a problem solving task till the students able to do it by themselves? Offering a reward for solving the problem quickly, telling them that they can do it by trying again and again, providing a half-solved example, telling them they cannot go home till they solve the problem. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି, providing a half-solved example. The following are the main objectives of International Conference on Educational Planning held at Paris in 1968, except to examine critically the experience of educational planning over the past 10 years, to assess major tendencies and problems with which educational planning is likely to have to deal in the next 10 years, to assess cooperative learning groups and difficulties of implementing multi-gauge education, to develop practical guidelines for helping individual nation. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି. To assess cooperative learning groups and difficulties of implementing multi-age education. There should be more varied modes of assessment beyond the examination hall. Paper pencil test was the recommendation of NEP 2020, NCF 2005, NPE 1986, revised NPE 1992. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି, NCF 2005. Who is the founder of critical pedagogy? Critical pedagogy ର ଫାଉଣ୍ଡର କିଏ? ପାଉଲୋ ଫେରେ, ପାଉଲୋ ୱିଲିସ୍, ଇରାସୋର, ସିରିଲେ ଷ୍ଟେନବର୍ଗ. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଏ, ପାଉଲୋ ଫେରେ. କ୍ରିଟିକାଲ pedagogy ର ଫାଉଣ୍ଡର ହେଉଛନ୍ତି ପାଉଲୋ ଫେରେ. Rousseau's theory on adolescence was criticized by the psychologists because it was not purely philosophic in nature. It was not based on observation and experiments. He was a devoted parent. He did not analyze the self-expression of children. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି, it was not based on observation and experiment. Which of the following is a guideline for the teachers to deal with the learning disabled students? Breaking assessment into very small steps, make sure students are begin reinforced for their success, work on the learning problem directly, all of the above. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ all of the above. A scale with a set of points which describe varying degrees of the dimension of an attribute under observation is known as aptitude scale, rating scale, attitude scale, questionnaire and schedules. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି, rating scale. According to Piaget, the ability to infer a relationship between two objects based on knowledge of their relationship with a third object develop at which stage? ପିଆଗେଟଙ୍କ ଅନୁସାରେ ଏହା କେଉଁ ଷ୍ଟେଜରେ ଡେଭଲପ ହୋଇଥାଏ? ସେନ୍ସରି ମୋଟର, ପ୍ରି ଅପରେସନାଲ, କଂକ୍ରିଟ ଅପରେସନାଲ, ଫର୍ମାଲ ଅପରେସନାଲ. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି, କଂକ୍ରିଟ ଅପରେସନାଲ. Whose name is strongly associated with the apparatus of puzzle box? କାହାର ନାଁ ପଜଲ ବକ୍ସ ସହିତ ଆସୋସିଏଟେଡ୍ ଅଛି? ସ୍କିନର, ପାଭଲୋଭ, ଥର୍ନଡାଇକ, ଟଲମନ. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି, ଥର୍ନଡାଇକ. ଥର୍ନଡାଇକଙ୍କ ନାଁ ପଜଲ ବକ୍ସ ସହିତ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରଙ୍ଗଲି ଆସୋସିଏଟେଡ୍ ଅଛି. NCTE as a statutory body came into existence in pursuance of the NCTE Act 1993 on the 7th August 1993, 7th August 1995, 5th September 1995, 10th December 1994. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି, 7th August 1995. The essay test possesses relatively low validity and reliability because of the following factors, except It can be assessed only by a teacher or competent professional. It may not provide a true picture of the comprehension level of the learner. The learner focus on learning word concept and articulating relationship, good verbal ability even in the absence of relevant point. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି ଦ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣର ଫୋକସ୍ ଅନ୍ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ broad concept and articulating relationship. Assessment for learning takes into account the following except qualitative improvement in learning styles of students, develops personal social skill, mistakes and strength of student. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି ଡେଭଲପ ପର୍ସନାଲ ସୋସିଆଲ ସ୍କିଲ୍. Who has suggested that people are motivated by a hierarchy of needs beginning with basic psychological requirements and moving up to the need for self-fulfillment. J. Atkinson, Kelly, Maslow, B. Wiener. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି ମାସ୍ଲୋ. Characterization by value, which is one of the objective of Bloom's taxonomy, comes within which domain? Bloom's taxonomy କାହାର domain? Cognitive, affective, psychomotor, none of these. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି affective. Which of the following is a physical or material resource for education? निम्नोक्त मध्यरु केउटी फिजिकल एवं मटेरियल रिसोर्स एजुकेशन रो मटेरियल रिसोर्स इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टीज स्पॉन्सरशिप एलुमिनी एंडोमेंट्स. एहार आंसर ହେବ ऑप्शन बी स्पॉन्सरशिप. In MCQ item, the problem part is called as direction, foils, stem, destructor. एहार आंसर ହେବ ऑप्शन सी स्टेम. MCQ आइटम को स्टेम बोली कहा जाए. स्टेम रो गोटे पार्ट. Which of the following is the main objective of continuous assessment? To find out the extent to which the objectives have been achieved, to discover how far the learning experience in the classroom have proved effectively, to learn how successfully the aims of education have been fulfilled, to help the learners to understand their progress in learning. एहार आंसर ହେବ ऑप्शन डी to help the learners to understand their progress in learning. What do you mean by rule easy method? Rule easy method रो mean कौन? Teaching or learning by moving from specific example to general rules. Teaching or learning by moving from general principle to specific example. Making imaginative leaps to correct perceptions. Teacher present material in complete organized form, moving from broadcast to more specific concept. एहार आंसर ହେବ ऑप्शन बी teaching or learning by moving from general principle to specific example. Role of teachers for the development of critical pedagogy is or are. Critical pedagogy रे teacher रो role कौन? Collaborative and cooperative learning, promote a good citizen quality for future society, development of capabilities of learners, all of the above. एहार आंसर ହେବ all of the above. Motivation is the stimulation of actions towards a particular objective where previously there were little or no attraction to that goal. This definition was given by এই ডেফিনেশনটি কিয়ে ଦେଇଥିଲେ? W.A. কিলি, T.W. আটকিনসন, F.G. M.C. ডোনাল্ড, H.W. ବର୍ନାର୍ଡ. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଡି H.W. Bernard. Organizing pre-service and in-service tra- training of teachers, develop a disseminate innovative educational techniques and practices are the objectives of which organization? NCTE, NCERT, Central Advisory Board of Education, NIEPA ବା ନିପା। ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ NCERT। ଏ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନଟି ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କର ବାରମ୍ବାର ଆସୁଛି। Which of the following is not a characteristics of blueprint? ନିମ୍ନୋକ୍ତ ମଧ୍ୟରୁ କେଉଁଠି blueprintର characteristics ନୁହେଁ? Weightages are given to objectives and contents. Weightages to form of questions in terms of marks. A two-dimensional chart. It produces a link between test items and paper setters policy decisions. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଡି। It produces a link between test and paper setters policy decisions. Which of the following is a benefit of peer assessment? निम्नोक्त ମଧ୍ୟରୁ କେଉଁଠି peer assessment ର benefit? It can assist in depending the student's own perception. It helps narrowing the gap between one's imagined view of teaching and what actually occurs. It helps students towards understanding the observation process. It makes a student to become more independent learner. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ବି। It helps narrowing the gap between one's imagined view of teaching and what actually occurs. Which of the following is not a guideline for the teachers to develop problem solving qualities of learner? ନିମ୍ନୋକ୍ତ ମଧ୍ୟରୁ କେଉଁଠି problem solving qualityର guideline ନୁହେଁ? Ask the student if they are sure that understand the problem. Encourage attempts to see the problem from different angles. Pose a question and let students try to find the answer. Teach heuristics. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ସି। Pose a question and let students try to find the answer. According to MC Douglas, view negative self-feeling is associated with which of the following instincts? Submission, acquisition, self-assertion, repulsion. ଏହାର ଆନ୍ସର ହେବ ଅପସନ୍ ଏ ସବମିଶନ। आशा करछि भिडियोटी आपमनकु भल लागिथिबो। भल लागिथाय जदि लाइक करिवे एवं चैनल रे प्रथम थर पई देखथिले चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करि रखिबे। थैंक यू।